Hey, I'm Josh Sink from Freerunners, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to do the exit mid-aerial. In the setup for the aerial, you're going to shift your weight from one side to another and dip towards the ground. These first two steps will determine how high or inverted your aerial is. The faster you dip, the quicker the aerial will be, and the higher you jump, the higher and slower the aerial will be. In this stage, you're going to drive your leg up as high as you can go, and then jump off the other leg. As soon as you jump off of the other leg, you can actually drive it over as well for more power. But don't drive it over until after you jump, or you won't have any height. Now you should be inverted in the air. You should continue looking at the ground so that you know whether to bail or not. If you are going for the gymnast aerial, which is a lot more advanced than what I am teaching, you should drive them all the way around your body. If you're going for the exit mid-aerial, you should drive them towards the ground as fast as possible. Or depends on if you're going for high or slow or low or fast, on how fast you want to reach the ground, if that makes any sense. But that's a little bit advanced for our purposes. Basically, the idea is to kick towards the ground here. After this, you should stand up tall out of the move, and it will take a while to work up to the aerial, but it's actually very safe to work up to, which we will now cover in the next. Alright, this is the second half of the tutorial. I am going to show you some tips and progression that will help you in aerial form, and a bit in, mostly it's going to be progressing up to further inverted aerials. Now the most basic thing I can probably show you, or the most basic progression rather, is to probably start with a butterfly kick. If you don't have a butterfly kick, I'm going to give a little mini tutorial later, because it's probably going to be important that you understand the physics of that, even if you can do it. So if you just start with a little butterfly kick, or if you don't have a butterfly kick, you can just start like something there, and you can further progress into something that is more inverted, and then even more inverted, and even more inverted. Now, I should probably explain something right here. There are actually two different types of aerials. There's the exit mid-aerial, also known as the capoeira aerial, and I will not be teaching that. Well, that's what I will be teaching. I will not be teaching the gymnast aerial. The gymnast aerial is a lot harder. I can do them, but my form is so bad that there's no way I could teach that and upload it to YouTube. But so basically, if you go more and more inverted, there's two tricks to this progression. One is finding out how inverted you can go. So let's say you can do a butterfly kick, but you know you can't do an aerial. Well, if you can do this, try doing something a little bit more inverted, like this. Probably start out just by stretching first, because it's really easy to pull a muscle here. And if you'll just spread your legs out as far as they can go while they're straight, reach forwards, and just hold that for a couple seconds. That's a great stretch for the aerial. Another thing I wanted to mention was, I talked a lot about this gymnast aerial. And all the gymnasts, I say I can't do them that well. I'm not going to teach it for two reasons. One, my form isn't that great. Two, they're practically the same. So all the tips and progressions given for the exit mid aerial will still work with the gymnast aerial. The gymnast aerial is just way more inverted, and you don't kick towards the ground while you're in the air. You ride it almost all the way over. Now, although I'm not going to teach that specifically, I am going to perform a few in the slow motions. The other trick here is they actually kind of go hand in hand. How you set up, I have kind of explained this earlier. How you set up makes a difference in how inverted your aerial can be. If in the butterfly kick, first up, if you don't know how to do a butterfly kick, you can do this. You have the congratulations, you have the physical ability to do a butterfly kick. Now, the technical part comes in here. So you're basically just switching your feet, but you're sweeping your body around and coming up with it, so you get that float effect. Make sure, this is kind of the most important part in both the aerial and the butterfly kick, besides the actual part where you go inverted. If you go, make sure you're sweeping across if you're going for the butterfly kick. That will set you up for how inverted you go in the aerial. So if you sweep directly across, you're going horizontal. If you, and of course the whole point of doing this in the aerial is so that you're shifting your weight from one foot to the other. So instead of going totally like this, you want to start going more like this and sweeping more down last second. I want to cover something right here. There is a difference, there is a big difference between throwing your chest at the ground and sweeping to allow more flexibility. You don't just want to throw your chest at the ground. That's not going to work. This is the part where I could probably explain this, but you guys don't have time for that. Trust me, it would take hours of scientific stuff that you don't have time for. So if you sweep across, directly across, down, it sets you up more vertical. Remembering that, you can dip slightly, sweep across, and then dip the rest of the way to turn into something like this. That was kind of an aerial and kind of a butterfly kick. If I go all the way and turn, directly into it and go straight down, then it's going to carry me way more inverted. It's going to look like this. And that's pretty much the gist of that. If you're having trouble with, now this part, you're probably going to want to be able to do the aerial. Actually, wait, let me get to that in a second. If you're having trouble with momentum, I don't recommend running into it. It's going to bring you completely vertical and probably into the gymnast aerial. And you want to have the exit mid aerial down first. I recommend, now, you should probably be able to do the aerial. If you're having trouble getting more inverted and you're stuck in like a gray zone where you can't get any better, try adding a nice little hook kick in at the beginning and then going into your aerial. So you come around, hook around, bring that leg square so that you can stand up into the aerial. If you want to get more, that's more or less if you want to get more speed into your aerial. If you want to get more height, this is a little bit lesser known way that I've discovered. And the trick here is to stand up tall. You can do a low sweep hook around and then stand up tall into your aerial. That looks a little bit like this. And that's how you would get more momentum into your aerials. Now I want to take a moment to quickly talk about form. My form isn't 100% the best, but I still know how to keep better form. So probably the most thing that you would want to think about is straight legs. If you want straight legs, it helps to point your toes. This is you might have heard this before, but I'm going to include it in this tutorial anyways. But so if you point your toes, what it does is it flexes your feet and it keeps them straight. So I'm going to try to do one high and slow here and point my toes.
So be the